One of the things I want to do in this video in particular is watch this man right here, Brock Hoffman. And here we're just going to see him do some pass blocking, and it's pretty typical of what we see the whole game. But I'm not going to talk about Brock Hoffman every play, but I'm going to talk about him a lot. It might be interesting to watch this video again, just focusing on each offensive lineman and leaving a comment about what you notice, what you see. All right, let's watch this next play. And this is one of those where I think we would love to have it back. It's about the details here. We're gonna go through and I'm gonna show you here. We have this little rollout and you can see the space that CeeDee Lamb has got between him and the defensive back. And what we're wanting this guy here to do is push to the right here. But instead he's gonna push up the field, and what he's gonna do is bring his defenders with him, and he's gonna make this throw impossible for rush. So you can see he had this throw, and now that they're close together, we can go frame by frame. It's just, he hits the back end of the defender there, and it just doesn't work out for us. But you can see all this open grass here. Like if he were to be able to get him this ball, he's got a lot of open field. I'm not saying touchdown, but I am saying big play. All right, let's watch it again without my commentary. On to the next play. Again, let's just focus here on Brock Hoffman, and here he's got Dexter Lawrence in front of him, who's an all-pro defensive tackle, and so anytime we get to see this matchup, it'll tell us a lot about Brock Hoffman because we know already a lot about Dexter Lawrence. And you say it's not long, but he holds his own. Watch it again. All right, on to the next play. This is something I've been actually calling for a while. I want us to get the ball into Turpin's hands. And I really like this play. You get him into open space and just let him create. Let's see that again. What's good about this play, this is the very next play, and I love that we use this same motion here to just mimic that last play. It doesn't end up going anywhere, but we do end up getting Turpin the ball again, and like I said, I want Turpin to have the ball in his hands way more often. All right, let's see it again. All right, this is our best chance for a touchdown, and you can just see that it just doesn't quite work out for Cooper Rush and Brandon Cooks. If you look here, we go frame by frame, he looks like both hands on there. That's a tough catch, but it's a catch I would want any receiver to make, right? You get both hands on it, catch it. I mean, I don't know if you can expect that of a receiver 100% of the time, but that's one that I think both of them would like to have back. You can see from a different broadcast angle kind of what it looks like. Let's go. That's so fast you can't even see the ball. It just barely gets his fingers on him. Maybe it's just too far. It's close. We ended up kicking a field goal here. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Breakdowns. My name is Dallas and this is Perry. And you might hear some baby noise going throughout this video. That's my baby and my wife in the other room. Please excuse us. Now, what we're going to be doing today is going through pretty slowly several plays from the all-22 angle, and that way we can kind of see what the Cowboys are doing well and what they aren't. The format of this will look like kind of what you just saw. We'll show the play, I'll point out some things, and then I'll show the play again. Okay, on to the second drive. So this is an interesting personnel package. This is Ezekiel Elliott and CeeDee Lamb back here, and I love packages like this. Using Ezekiel Elliott as a fullback really makes a lot of sense to me. He's just a big back, and I really like this concept. I believe this is a short yardage situation, and they get the yards they need. Okay, this is something to keep an eye out on. We're gonna have a double team with the center and the guard here. And according to Chris Collinsworth, this is good old-fashioned Dallas Cowboys football where you're getting doubles on defensive linemen, or in this case, this linebacker that's gonna appear in here. And just look at the movement they get. That's great. I love draws. It does a lot of good things. It gets the defensive lineman up the field, and it also allows for your tackles or linemen to get down the field into the second level and, if not block, but get in the way of the defenders. This is good to see because I feel like this CeeDee Lamb jet sweep is pretty predictable, and I'm just glad to see an iteration of it where we go the other way. And like I've been harping on, getting Turpin the ball to me is always good. What I would like to see though is instead of Turpin slowing down up here at the top of this, I want to see him just burst out towards the edge. I don't think there's really anything here for him, but him slowing down like that, it's not my favorite. I don't think I can be that picky. I've been wanting to get Turpin the ball, and so we finally get him the ball. So it's good on the coaches. I just would like to see Turpin use that speed more here. Like I said, this ticky-tack on my part. This right here is just to showcase like the tight window throws that Cooper Rush and honestly Dak Prescott were having to go through as well. Let me show you something. See this? This is Cooper Rush, and these are the top 3 candidates who have what are considered aggressive throw percentages. If you want to look at what the opposite side is, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, these are lower aggressive rates, and then here are the higher aggressive rates. Bryce Young leads the league, Dak Prescott is 2nd in the league, and Cooper Rush is 3rd in the league. And so what we're seeing here is that can't all be decision making because it's 2 very different quarterbacks coming up with the same thing. I think it has to do with personnel and scheme. But I mean, like, look at this window that this ball has to fit in. Like, I don't know if there's even an inch of wiggle room here. And he actually bobbles it a little bit, but catches it. And that's probably an extreme example, but that's not an uncommon example. This is a fun play. You can see Turpin getting down here, kind of squatting, kind of like Tyreek Hill. And that's the read, really. That's the touchdown. We end up going underneath, and CeeDee drops it. I don't think that play's going anywhere anyways, and we end up just kicking the field goal. But if we just look at this again, the way that Turpin's defender is keying on the quarterback here, it peeks in here, and as a result, I think there's an open spot here for Turpin to get the ball. Rush goes underneath instead, drop, field goal. All right, let's watch it again. Do you see what I'm seeing? All right, this is just a defensive play that I want to highlight. There's only a few of these throughout, but this is just so cool, and it's pretty big deal, really, if you look at the All-22 and what could have been. But it's just a fantastic play. Let's look at it from the other angle. He's gonna blow up. This is a screen, and so that's the guy who's supposed to be receiving it. He knocks it in the air, catches it, gets that touchdown, and then I love his little dance here at the end. I know some people don't like this, but I love it. But what I was referring to of what could have been for the Giants, I mean, look at this. If he's able to get this to him, there's nobody out here. These guys are on pretty good positions for blocks. Maybe this guy gets off of Neighbors. We have our safety out here, and we have 1 blocker, maybe 2 blockers, but there's nothing out here. And instead of it being a big play, maybe even a touchdown for them, it's a touchdown for us. That is just all-pro, all-star caliber type play from Overshown. I've shown that a lot, I don't need to show it again. One of the best things that the Cowboys did was played the Giants and made it look like they were playing the Giants. So this is just showcasing, like, if you're going to play a bad team, you need to beat the bad team. And they did that. One of the ways our defense does that is we have an insane pressure rate, and we just do a good job of getting to the quarterback. I just want to say a quick thank you. I had a goal to double the subscribers that I had this season, and I'm up to 800 from 600, so I'm about a third of the way there. So really, really appreciate all those people who have hit subscribe. Thank you so much. All right, back to the offense, third drive. This is the worst moment for pass blocking for Brock Hoffman the whole game. Here he is right here. Brutal. Watch it again. All right, next play, let's look at this. This is another big play opportunity. Oh my goodness, that hurts to watch. We can just slow this one down and see what's going on here. But again, kind of like the previous one where we almost have CeeDee Lamb really open with not a lot of people around him, we have the same thing here. Look, ball's in his hands. He's got this man here to help him down the field, this man to help him down the field, and just these, 1, 2, 3 people who could possibly tackle him. He stumbles right away, right? And so it realistically could have been a touchdown, if not a touchdown, a pretty large gain. Even this gain here, 15, 20 yards, would have been a decent gain. And instead, he drops it. We'll watch it again. So that leads to this 4th and short situation, and I just wanted to show this play because, like, we're gonna give the ball to Lipke. I don't know where he could have gone with this. We're gonna go down here and down here, up here and down here. But there's this, we're gonna kind of vacate this area, and these backers are just gonna fill it. And so there's nothing really there for us to do. And so I'm not really surprised Lipke doesn't get it. I'm gonna watch it again. Not great. 4th drive, this drive pretty much goes nowhere because of field position, and even as bad as this field position is, it's about to get worse with this little false start there. Anyways, we end up in this 3rd and long, and we do this pretty long throw to Wingo. Wingo's unable to make the catch. We have a different angle. We can see it from this spot. It's a decent throw, but Wingo's just not very open. I mean, when we talk about like aggressive throws, like that dude is basically body to body to him by the time the ball gets there. That leads us to this punt, which is a terrible punt. He has to get it off pretty quickly, and I think we have to have max protection, and it just doesn't go well for us. It's like the opposite of complimentary football for the Dallas Cowboys. It's complimentary football for the Giants. All right, back to offense, 5th drive. Ugh, this is another drop by CD, but what I want to point out is how easy to read Cooper Rush was at this point in the game. We're going to watch this defensive back here. And you can see before he even has the ball out of his hands, he's breaking in towards CeeDee Lamb, leaving Tolbert wide open over here in the corner, who he's not going to see. But this is the read. This is who he should be throwing to. I know it's easy for me to say, but that's the read, not here. Really easily could have been intercepted. One more time. Okay, same drive. For the sake of the Cowboys and for Wingo, I really hope this was just miscommunication. This route here that Wingo runs, he needs to be out. It looks like maybe he's doing a hitch instead of an out, and I hope that's the case, because if that was supposed to be an out, he is very slow out of his breaks. We'll watch it again. Hopefully it's just a timing thing, and we'll get that down the more they play together. This right here is why Cooper Rush doesn't take hardly any sacks. I think I heard somewhere that he only has 1 in like the last 2 games, or 0 in the last 2 games, maybe 1 hit. There's just nothing there, and he throws it away pretty quickly. This right here is pressure rate, and it's interesting to me to see how low his pressure rate is so far. He's got the 3rd lowest in the league. That means when he drops back, only 15% of the time is he being pressured. And so he's doing a good job of getting the ball out of his hands. I think that's a large portion of that. But he's actually holding on to it or getting more time than Dak Prescott, but not by much. You see there's Cooper Rush here, and Dak Prescott is here at 2.3. League average 2.2. That's a good number to know. So he's getting protected a little bit better, I think, but he's also getting rid of the ball really quickly. And so he's not having a lot of pressure. You can see that Prescott's pressure rate here was 25.6. If you wanted to see how high that was, that would have ranked him 6. We can see another time where he's being pretty predictable, and we're going to key in on this defensive back here who's going to keep his eyes on Rush. And you can see that before the ball is even out, he's breaking out here, not worried at all about this inside man. And if he's able to get out there any faster, that's a pick 6, but not quite able to do it. One more time. All right, let's talk about defense. This is actually a pretty big play because the Giants were about to go down the field, and then we had a Josh Butler devastating injury. That was terrible to hear, but they're able to stop up a play and then cause this sack here, and that just stymies the drive completely, and that's the end of the half. It was the last play before the half. A quick side note, I created what I thought to be a pretty interesting video last week that for some reason YouTube has refused to show people. I mean, they have shown it to some people, but not as many as they normally would. Like, I usually get somewhere between 3,000 and 9,000 impressions per video, and right now that video is not even going to break 400, and I don't understand why. I don't know what I did or if I did anything, but all that to say, I'm doubling down on this effort to create a newsletter to showcase the videos that maybe you won't see. Like, if I'm only getting less than 400 impressions and I have 800 subscribers, that means at the very least 400 of y'all didn't really see that, even though you are subscribed to the channel. So, like I said, I'm creating this newsletter. It'll be down in the description. It won't be a spammy thing. I'm just going to use it as a way to make sure you guys see the content that I've made, and I may throw some other things in there that I might think are interesting along the way. But it won't be a spammy thing. It'll be like once a month maybe. So the Giants open up with the ball in the 3rd quarter, and the defense creates this turnover, which is good to see. The turnover department is something that was pretty much non-existent at the beginning of the season, so that's been something that's been good to come alive again. All right, 7th drive. This is the worst I see Brock Hoffman run block. He gets beat here, but it doesn't actually devastate the play too much, but not great. This is an interesting play to me. We're overloading here to the left, and a lot of times when you see this overload, you're gonna get a screen, and so that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get like this fake block here, and this is one of those almost plays. And you can see that as he's releasing this ball, like that ball is out, he's got Schoonmaker here releasing inside, and Schoonmaker has a ton of green because these guys were committed to this down here as a screenplay. Lucky for the Giants, this dude gets his hand on the ball and has a pretty epic celebration. See it again. All right, this is a great play again because we're getting the ball into Turpin's hand. I don't understand why it took us so long to get this concept down. Give the ball to the fastest person in the NFL. It's a good idea. So we're gonna see that whenever we snap this ball, We're gonna have like a couple steps back, and we're gonna see Brock Hoffman kind of give him a good arm to the back here. That's Lawrence, Brock Hoffman getting Lawrence down to the ground. And these guys delay out a little bit, and then they're gonna come flat, because in the NFL, you can't go more than a yard before the ball is out of the quarterback's hand. There, the ball is out of his hand. The line of scrimmage is about here, so they actually had a couple yards, these two guys. And so we have a pretty good play develop here. You can see Lawrence is on the ground there. And here we have a lineman, receiver, or tight end blocking, a receiver blocking, and look how fast this guy is. He just erases that angle so fast. All right, we'll watch it one more time. All right, so this is like the quintessential Cowboys goal line play this year. And we're gonna score on it, and it's not the first time we scored on it. I think it's the third at least. So here's what we're gonna do. It's actually a little bit of a variation, but it's the same concept. We're gonna have CD run across, we're gonna have Cooks run across. One here is gonna run this back line, and then we're gonna have Schoonmaker and Ezekiel Elliott kind of block and then release late. Now Rush is going to read the middle of the field, and he sees that 27 here is actually outrunning in front of CeeDee Lamb, but this guy is not going to do the same thing for Cooks, and that's not a lot of separation, but it's enough, and Rush puts that ball perfectly. Let's see it again. Okay, on to the 8th drive here. Again, I just like whenever we get the ball in Turpin's hands, that's going to be a repetitive thing for me. One of the things that is particularly nice about this play is that if this is actually blocked well here, then all he has is one man to beat, and there's this guy as far as safety. So basically you're putting Turpin in the opportunity to beat one man and get a big play. It doesn't happen here, but I like that opportunity. All right, we'll watch it again. This is a fun one just to watch Brock Hoffman here. He's gonna get onto a linebacker and pretty much not let go. All right, this is just one, we're just gonna have to suffer through this. Maybe it's a backup thing, but I feel like Cooper Rush is just gonna give us one of these every game. We'll watch it one more time. All right, here we talk about double team football again. And what that's gonna allow for us to do here is we're gonna get Brock Hoffman and Terrence Steele here, and then he's gonna be able to, after he pushes him back, get up to 41. And that just gives Dowdle the opportunity to get all the way to the end zone with pretty minimal contact. Let's watch it again. All right, so our run defense I thought was pretty good. However, I did watch a video, and you might have seen it too if you're an avid YouTuber, that said that our run defense this last game was not as good. And I don't think that that full picture was painted correctly. Let me show you what I mean. So you might have saw this stat, which says that the Cowboys allowed 116 yards on 5.5 yards carry and 2 touchdowns. But they have this down here versus like what we've been normally doing against running backs, which is 4.5 yards per carry, average 4.4. I'm not sure why there's a difference there. Yards per carry and average per carry seems to me to be the same thing. But all that to say, if you actually look at the stat line for what Drew Lock did, he alone had this 4 carries, 57 receptions, and a touchdown. So he averaged 4.25 yards a carry himself. But you can see the other running backs didn't average anywhere near that. So really, if you want to make that a little more accurate, I would think instead of 116 yards, you would subtract 57 from that. That'd be 59 yards. And they did that on 17 carries, which comes out to 3.47 yards a carry. Ninth drive, back to the offense. This is just a pretty excellent play by Brock Hoffman. You can see that he's going to get here on the inside and allow Terrence Steele to take up this block, and then he's going to get this linebacker. So he's going to be pretty involved in creating this crease right here. Let's see that again. All right, so the next play, we have a run out here to the left. What I want us to see is how Brock Hoffman is able to cut this linebacker, and whenever he does that, he allows BB to get over to this side of this defensive tackle and allows the guard to get upfield on the linebacker here. One more time, but we're going to slow it down a little bit, go frame by frame. See 67 cut here. And then Smith hits him back, which allows BB to get over here, and then he's able to come up on this defensive linebacker and create this crease right here. And there we go. It's a big gain for Dowdle. 10th drive. And once again, we're seeing the benefits of that double team. So we're going to see here, these two double team him. And what that's going to do is make this linebacker get not great feet. Now, he does a good job of scraping and filling this hole here, but he's trying to cut back and tackle Dowdle, and look how his feet are not underneath him at all. And so this is pretty much an arm tackle. That's because of this block here. This double team block has pushed this guy so far back, it's making this angle pretty bad, and we get a good run out of it. Watch that one more time. All right, I just want to take a moment to be thankful for Bland being back. He's up here against Neighbors, and just watch what he does up here. It's just beautiful. Well done. We'll watch that one more time. All right, last play, and this is how we won the game. This is it looks like some sort of two-man game here, where Cooper's going to be reading these defensive backs here, and I think if this guy comes up on Cooks, then he's going to go deep with Schoonmaker. If Schoonmaker and him kind of get tied up like they are, then he's going to come underneath to Cooks. And I think also Schoonmaker might be purposely running into him a little bit, although he does eventually get free and raise his hand. Maybe he's trying to draw a pass interference. Could just be good acting. But this catch, bam, that is good stuff. If he caught one like that earlier, we might have had an extra touchdown in this game, but that's a pretty impressive catch. All right, let's watch it one more time. Hey, thank you so much for watching. This has been a long video, and I am honored that you would spend your time with me here. At this point, I'm going to transition to talking about my faith or scripture, and this is something I've been doing this season, and I can totally understand if you didn't click on this to watch somebody talk about faith, if you wanted to bail. May I suggest a video that I made last week that talks about why you should never give a new coach a contract over 5 years. It's a pretty cool video in my opinion, I think. For the rest of us, for the people who would like to stay and talk through faith and scripture and stuff, we're going to be going to 2 Chronicles 17. King Jehoshaphat takes over for his father Asa, or Asa, I'm not sure how to say it, and he does something interesting. He sends what we would call today missionaries throughout the land, and the result is peace in his land throughout Judah. Peace in the land. That sounds really nice, right? And it reminds me of this section of scripture in Romans 10. For there is no difference between Jew and Gentile. The same Lord is Lord of all, and richly blesses all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. How then can they call on the one who they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And here's that missionary part. And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. So may you and I have pretty feet and go and tell other people about the good news of the gospel and how the Lord wants to save all those who call on him. Thank you again for watching, and if you want to hear why you shouldn't give a new coach more than a 5-year contract, then I think you might like the video that's on the screen. That's all I got. Jesus is King.